Hi there! You want to see how I edit some portraits? Welcome to Adventure in Art. My name is Ben Staley, your resident talking head. I don't do these kind of videos very often because it's not my favorite thing to do, but a lot of people have been asking to see how I edit my portraits in the comments and things, so I'm doing it for y'all, okay? I'm taking one for the team here. Let's get into this. I'm gonna edit 7 portraits that I took over the last year or so, basically. A couple of them are so brand new, no one's even seen them yet. I just did them in the last week or so. They're gonna be in some videos coming up. We'll get to that. Let's talk about intention. One thing that I'm always looking for when I look at someone's work, be it a film or a photograph or whatever, any kind of art, is what gets me excited is intention from the artist. So you need to have intent when you're taking pictures. You need to kind of be able to visualize how you want that image to look when you're done, and that informs how you actually capture the image, the choices that you make, right? My intention and the kind of work that I'm trying to make and my style is I like very minimal images. I don't like heavily retouched images. I am using mostly natural light, although here there's a couple of these you'll see that I've used artificial light. I like to get it right in camera. I don't like to have to do a lot later, because honestly, sitting here in front of a computer editing for hours is not my favorite thing to do. I want to be out there with a camera in my hand, and so I try and get it right there. Now, you can't get it 100% right. You got to do a little work here just to bring the whole thing home, and so that's what I'm going to show you. I don't do a lot, spoiler alert, but I will show you a few little things that I do that I think make a big impact and can really just take an image that extra mile to just make it really pop and look good.
Cool. Oh yeah, those are cool.
Someone who's always been a big inspiration to me photographically was Peter Lindbergh, and he passed away a couple years ago, but he was mostly a fashion photographer and did portraiture and shot a lot of supermodels and famous people. But his style was so kind of raw and stripped down, although he, much of the time, because he was at the upper echelon of the industry, he had big teams and stuff, but you wouldn't know that looking at the images. They're very subtle. And one of the projects he did later in his career was he shot the Pirelli calendar, which is something that comes out every year, and they get a big hotshot photographer to do it. Well, he did it, I don't know, 8 or 10 years ago, maybe now. It's been a little bit. Shooting some of the most famous women on the planet, but there was no retouching, meaning he got it all right in camera. And these are not young women. A lot of these are actresses that are 40s, 50s, 60s. He's just stripping everything away and just using the power of his lens and his skill as a photographer to capture these people, these ladies, in a good manner. So that's bold to be able to do that as a photographer, and it's bold of those women to allow it. They pulled it off. They're amazing images. I implore you to check it out on the internet. Just get on Google and search Pirelli calendar Lindbergh. You'll see what I mean. I'm not going to show that stuff here. It's not my work, but it's pretty cool. So that's something that I'm thinking about that work a lot, and Lindbergh has obviously influenced me, and I'm nowhere near his skill, and my style's slightly different, but he's a big inspiration for me. I'm a less is more photographer. I want it to be really simple. I want to be able to make the images fairly fast. I want to be in the moment when I'm shooting, and I'm open to inspiration and whatever happens, and I'm thinking creatively. I'm fluid, and but I want to get it right in camera, and I don't want to have to do a lot later. I think I've made my point. Before we get going, right now, as I'm filming this, we just learned a few hours ago that David Lynch passed away. David Lynch wrote this book, Catching the Big Fish. He was just a legend, okay? A legend. Storyteller, an artist, filmmaker, photographer, and a writer. So I'm gonna read you a little something out of one of David's books to pay a little homage to the one and only David Lynch. There's never going to be another David Lynch, I'll tell you that. Restrictions. Check out this book, by the way. Restrictions. Sometimes restrictions get the mind going. If you've got tons and tons of money, you may relax and figure you can throw money at any problem that comes along. You don't have to think too hard. But when you have limitations, sometimes you come up with very creative, inexpensive ideas. Thanks, David. Okay, let's get into this. Let's start at the beginning. Okay, this handsome dude is Ty. This was shot in my studio. If you watch this channel, you know all about my studio. This was intended to be a black and white image, so that's what we're going to do. We just go over here, we convert it to black and white. It's a little underexposed. I'm underexposing images a lot because I want to preserve the highlights and lift. So I'll lift it up a little bit here. Not too much. There we go. Yeah, I like that. And then I want this darker area of the hair. I just want a little more there. So I'm going to lift the shadows. That's it. Okay. Now, geez, I really like that. I don't have to do a whole lot more than that. Let's see if we just bring the blacks. Yeah, just give it a little more punch with the curves here. Just a teeny bit of an S curve here, just to give a little more contrast. I like that. Yeah, let's lift the shadows up a little more. I'm just fooling around with it to get it kind of right where I want. Okay, I want him to pop out of the background a little more, so we're going to go up here. We're going to select a background mask. Now, the computer's thinking about it, and it's going to give us a mask. There we go. Now, we don't want to go crazy here, but we're going to drop the highlights down just a skosh, and we're going to drop everything down here just a teeny bit. We're like 40%. Look at that. Look at that. You don't want to go too crazy or you get some weird fringing and stuff, but that's enough. He just pops out a little more. Now, we are going to add just a teeny bit of texture. I'll usually do this around 10%. Yeah, you don't want to go much more than that. Now, we're just going to clean up. He's got great skin. He's a handsome dude. We're just going to clean up the skin a little bit. Now, my rule here is, oh, by the way, we'll go to this little healing brush here, and there's different modes. But I use this first one here. And this is using generative AI to fix some things that you have on the image. And it's pretty awesome. This is a fairly new feature for Lightroom. And it's super rad. I'm just going to clean up these little, I guess they're imperfections. They're just like changes in color in the skin. It's just going to make the image less distracting. Now, my rule for retouching, if someone's got like a mole or something like that, some natural part of their skin, I'm not going to touch that. If they have a scar or something, I generally won't touch that. That's permanently part of their makeup. Okay. If they have like little, your skin changes, you've been in the sun a lot, or it's blotchy, or there's things like that, or pimples, I'll get rid of that stuff. And these little healing brush tools in Lightroom that use AI, they're just incredible. They've come a long ways. Well, also, there's this little white thing right here. I'm going to get rid of that. And we go over here, and I use subtract. I don't know why. There's add and subtract. I've always just used subtract. And we're going to get rid of those. And boom, look at that. Before, after. I like that. Let's bring down the highlights just a teeny bit. There we go. Just drop that. That just drops the exposure on the bright side of his face just a teeny bit. I like that. There we go. Should I pop his eyes? Yeah, let's pop his eyes a little bit. You got to be careful here. Too much can be too much, but I think we can do that here. Let's go to radial gradient. We'll choose iris enhance. We'll just draw a little bitty oval. This one I'll take the highlights and just pop up the highlights a little bit here and the whites just to make that catch light a little more pronounced. Great. Add a little bit of clarity for some contrast. I like that. Now we're going to duplicate this and drag it over here onto the other eye. Let's see if that is enough for this guy. I think we need to bring it up a little bit there. And boom. Yeah, I like that. I like it. Yeah, real simple. Less is more. Okay, moving on. Oh boy. This is Cory Black. Shot her with a Lumix G9 II and a 42.5 Noctatron. I think that's what it's called. Portrait lens. Sick. This is an example of I don't really got to do much at all because we got it right in the camera. But check this out. We can make it a little better. So we'll go down here to our color profiles. Now, Lightroom actually has the profiles that are in the camera. So these are all the internal picture profiles in the camera that I used. We're going to go down here and use Vivid. Whoa, like look at that, right out of camera, just amazing. We'll add a little bit of contrast. Drop the exposure. No, we don't. We're going to bring it up right there. Just a teeny bit. Lift the shadows a teeny bit. I really like this bright, glowy look. Bring the highlights down. Now I'm going to take the clarity, the mid-contrast. Look at this. Look at that glow. I'm just going to go like 15% glowy because I like it. I mean, I don't have to touch the white balance. We got it all right. I love this image. We're going to move in and just see. That's way too close, but we're doing it. We're just going to clean up. I think that's a scar. I mean, her skin is just freaking perfect, but we're just going to do the work. Boom. Before, after, before, after. Love it. Maybe we want to go black and white. So we'll go back here to our picture profile, and I think when I shot this I was using the internal like a monochrome profile. Look at that. This is, you know, nearly perfect. I'm just going to adjust the curves a little bit just to give a little more contrast. Oh yeah. Bring this down just a skosh. Look at that. We'll lift the shadows a little more just to give it a little more. Whoa. That's it. That's all we got to do. Sometimes they're that good. Okay, next. Oh, cool. Okay. This is Ezra. I actually shot him here. We are late in the day and there's these moody clouds and I used a strobe. You see that light in his eye. Boom, look at that. Ooh, we got the sharpness too. I like this picture. Let's try some of my presets. I haven't actually tried these on a person. Whoa, preview. I haven't actually tried these on a portrait, but I made a set of presets. They're on my website. Bing! And they're free. So I actually made these mostly for walking around, but I didn't intend them to be for portraits, but I'm going to try them out on Ezra. Let's see here. So the presets are they all start with a W. I guess I was on a W kick. But Wander, West, Wild, Willow, and Wonder. Willow is black and white, and West is black and white, a little more contrast. I think this Wander preset might be kind of good. It's a little cool. I'm going to warm it up with the white balance here. Yes, look at that. It's kind of punchy. We're going to up the exposure just a skosh, bring down the highlights, bring up the shadows. I mean, almost right like that. I just really like that. Maybe a little bit more warmth. What if we go into, oh yeah, we just give a little more yellow right in there. Look at that. I like this. That's it. Now, he's got great skin. He's an actor and a model, but we got it right in camera. But this is what a preset can do. Now, let me tell you, using presets, sometimes those are great just to get a certain look. The preset it's not a done deal. Drop it in and then play around with it, monkey around with it, see if you can fine tune it for that particular image. Any preset's not going to work great for every image, so you gotta customize them a little bit, but they give you a starting point. Cool. I guess they will work for portraits. I really like this, and I like how the skies are cooler and his skin is warmer. Pretty dope. Okay, that was Ezra. Okay, moving on. Okay, here's my friend Paige. You've seen her on the channel a few times, I think. Shot this in a studio last summer in tension. I knew that I wanted to make this black and white when I shot it. So let's just go to black and white. Boom. It's pretty warm. I'm going to bring down the exposure a little bit. You know what? No, I'm just going to go to the curves. Yeah. Bring the blacks in. This was designed to be very punchy and contrasty. Drop this down. Look at that. Give it a little S curve. Might even just lift the black point a skosh just to give a little fade. Yes, I like that. I'm going to lift the shadows here. Now we're going to go over here. We're going to select the background just like we did on Ty. And we're going to just drop that down just a teeny bit. I don't know if this is the best portrait in the world, but I chose it for this because you can do a lot with this thing, right? The eyes are pretty even. Nice thing about working in the studio, we've got a little catch light. It's like perfect in there. We'll do some quick retouching of the skin. Just her skin is flawless, but there's some things we can fix here, like we would have to on anyone. We had a makeup artist in the studio, so she was all well taken care of. But there's just little blemishes and things. We all have it on our skin, no matter how perfect we are. Almost nobody's as perfect as Paige here, but you just clean those little things up. Boom. Honestly, you guys, that's it. Less is more. Barely did anything. Thanks, Paige. Okay, Brena, this is a new one. You're going to see this whole session in a video coming up. It's pretty dope. We had a good time. Should we go to the presets? I think we will. Whoa. Let's try this Wonder preset. Now, this image is a little on the dark side because the sun's at her back and I didn't want to blow out her hair and stuff there. So we got to lift the exposure first. There we go. We're going to lift the shadows a little bit. Ooh, I like this. Ooh, I like it a lot. We're going to select the background. We're just trying to get our colors and our contrast right. I've been doing so much black and white, I want to do one in color for you. Okay, now check this out. We're gonna bring the background down just a skosh, and we're gonna go down here to the curves. We're gonna go to our color curves. Let's see, what should we do? We're going to play around with this until we get some good complementary colors. Her lipstick is so bright red. We want to complement that, I think, with the background. I kind of like that. A little darker. Yeah, I like that. Okay, we'll close that out. And I'm going to bring down the highlights just a skosh so we get her hair up here a little darker. This is pretty sweet to me. Popped in, her eyes look great. We're going to do a little bit of cleanup here. Brena did her own makeup. She didn't do a lot. That's fine. She's got perfect skin. Bada bing. Before, after. Really like the eyes. let's do this. Here's something we can do sometimes. I don't do this very often, but brush, we'll select soften skin, and we're just going to brush this on just ever so gently up in here, down here. Now, what this does is it just, where's our setting? Now, the curve away. This takes our clarity and puts it all the way down. I don't like that, but I'll bring this back to like minus 30-ish, somewhere in there, and that just softens the skin just a little bit. You can kind of see, boom to boom. Yeah, that's pretty good. Dude, awesome. Can't wait for you to see this video. There's some cool video in it and some pretty cool shots. There's a color one using one of my presets. Here's Lauren. There's a video with her coming up. I love, love, love this photo. We have to do very little to this, but we're going to do it. Okay, so we're going to, let's use one of my presets. Let's use West. Yes, look at that. Oh, it's done. Really works for this one. But no, not quite. We can do a few more things. Let's up the shadows. Oh yeah, we just bring the exposure up a teeny bit. And then bring the highlights down. Sometimes that's what I like to do, is just, it just lifts the blacks. Okay, look at that. Look at that. I did almost nothing. We got to do any retouching here. Lauren did her own makeup. We can clean this up a little bit. She's perfect. Boom, actually going to get rid of this little white fuzzy over here that's annoying me. Cool. Now we want to just pop this catch light in her eyes just a teeny bit. We'll go here, we'll go radial gradient, and we'll do iris enhance. Put this here. And we'll up the highlights, up the whites a teeny bit. Up the clarity, little contrast, boom. We'll go here, we right click and we duplicate it. Now I just drag this right over here and I put it over this eye. And let's back up and see if we didn't screw this up. Oh yeah, so much better. Before, after. I love this portrait. Okay, last one. This is Howard. Howard came out with Lauren, they're friends, and I shot them both. So here we go. Let's just do a straight up black and white edit of Howard. You know how I like my black and whites. Okay, here we go. Boom. Bring these curves in, give it a little bit of punch here, drop down, lift up the highlights. Ooh, that's really punchy. Let's lift the shadows a little bit. I really like this. Bring down the highlights for the skin. I mean, this is pretty sweet right there. I'm gonna bring in a little bit of texture. I mean, that's pretty dope. I'm going to clean up his skin. He's got some acne and things, so we'll get rid of that. Boom. It doesn't have to be complicated, you guys. It can be simple. Less is more. Before, after, before, after. So that's it, you guys. Thanks for watching. Less is more. I probably use 10% of what Lightroom has to offer, but it gets the job done for me. And frankly, that's all I want to do. You don't have to know a lot to make good portraits and to do good edits. Keep it simple. Have intention when you're taking the photo. I'm probably not the guy for this. I know y'all are going to leave some comments and crap about my editing, but you know, look at my website, look at my work. That's what I do. I like it. It works for me. I hope if you're new, or maybe you're feeling stuck, or you know, you want to learn a few new things, maybe this was helpful. If you have any questions, if there's something I didn't cover or didn't cover well enough, leave a comment. It's all good. Get out there and shoot and make the image good on the day. Again, the presets are free. They're at the link down in the description. We'll see you in the next one, folks. Over and out.
And I've stood proud and tall, built up my towers, and I've watched them all fall.